live with Dragon. So this is a long overdue video, a little tutorial on using a belt in the gym, okay? If you're going through the back injury, how this can support you in the process. Stop jingling, okay, good. And also a tutorial around bracing and breathing, right? We hear that a lot. Hell, half the exercises that we do when we first get injured is working on core bracing and core stability, but are we applying those concepts learned in phase 1 to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and so on and so forth, right? Are we actually bracing properly when it's difficult? If it's your only sole concentration point, sure, I'm sure everyone's doing it totally fine, but doing it under load is a far different thing altogether. And I have had issues with it myself, so why not talk about it? Let's bring it up. If you find this video useful, awesome. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll go from there. So phase 1, right? Let's talk about the belt. Now, this belt is a little bit too small for me. I'm bulking, and I just ate about an outrageous amount of carbohydrates post-workout, as per my plan. Thank you very much. So I'm on the last rung of this belt. When I'm dieting, my waist is 28 to 30 inches. It's a lot different story, but my waist most definitely isn't that right now because your boy thick. So I'm gonna put the belt on. Hopefully I'm still in frame here. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Now, when I put the belt on, there's a certain amount of room that you wanna have, okay? So let's see if we get this baby on. Bloated Dragon, okay. It's a struggle, but we got it. One more, come on, baby. Woo, all right. So as I say, this belt is a bit tight for me. Now, as I push out my belly, I can already feel the tightness. You want to be able to get about 2 fingers in between you and the belt. If you can't squeeze 2 fingers in, it's a little bit tight, like I said, for me. This belt, probably not the best for you specifically, but as long as you can squeeze 2 fingers in, you're in a good position. Now, when we brace, right, we don't suck air in and then get small. We're pushing abdominal pressure through and we're feeling the tightness of the belt. It should feel like the belt is actually causing mild discomfort, maybe even less than mild, right? It's there. It's protecting the lower back, okay? So long story short, if you're not using a belt for your compound movements, what are your compound movements? Multi-joint movements, Romanian deadlift, in some cases, maybe even bench press, right? Squat, all of these big movements, then you might be in a position where you're putting too much strain on the lower back, right? That could flare the disc. I'm not saying it's a mandatory requirement. The great thing about a belt is it's an added layer of protection, right, guys? The whole goal that we're trying to do is be able to exercise, have fun, get stronger, and then not be in pain. So if this adds that layer of safety, why not use it, okay? So that's the belt tutorial. If you're not using it, try it out. Again, this belt is cheap, 20, 30 bucks. You can get one off Amazon. I like the thicker leather ones, okay? If you get a little flimsy nylon fabric belt, I think those are useless. So maybe get something a little more extra bang for your buck. Maybe it's $50, $60. There's lever belts now where you can have it perfectly levered into your body. That's gonna run you a little bit more, higher price point, about 100 bucks. I've used both, but this is my main belt for right now, albeit a little small. Now, moving on, bracing under load. The belt does a really good job of showcasing and telling you through a little bit of discomfort that you're bracing effectively. If you're not using a belt and you're doing, let's say, the McGill curl up, right? You're not using a belt, you're laying on your back. Pretend I'm laying on my back. When I do the curl up, I'm lifting head slightly, compressing, and I'm blowing that air into my abdominal wall, and I'm holding that for 5 seconds, okay? You're building up internal core pressure, and by doing that, you should feel the belly expand and get tight, okay? That's phase 1, okay? Now, let's say you do the curl up, you do the bird dog, you're holding that compressive phase, Compress, compress, compress. You even do side planks. Hold that, you're tight, tight, tight. Now your body's starting to auto-regulate. It understands like it's going to have some good abdominal pressure through the rest of the workouts. Now, where I see people not doing that could be literally the next exercise over. As I told you guys, I started training people in person again, and it's crazy to see the difference between the warm-up phase and the execution phase of like their first working set of exercises. So let's say we're doing adductors, right? We're moving the weight in like this, okay? People aren't even stabilizing themselves in the hole, so they're just maybe putting their hands here and they're just thinking about this. They're only thinking about what's going on in the adductor muscle, okay? What you need to do, and this applies to every single, we'll kind of give different examples, is you need to brace, brace, stabilize, big breath in, exhale in, tight, and then out. Exhale. This is the portion where you can inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you can see I'm creating a pattern of breathing, okay? Now, what do I see in person, right? I see the opposite. I see, sorry, it's hard for me to flip it. So inhale. So I'm soft through the core region, and I'm expecting to be strong, creating a strong structure through my extremities. It's an impossible feat to do, okay? And it's something that through routine and pattern, you're gonna get much more effective at. Now, this is just adductors. You're in a machine. You're not standing, you're not hinging, nothing crazy. So then apply that to a hinge, something that's very, very difficult for people as they're rebounding through this injury. So, I was doing hinges myself today. God, that food is really in the dragon's stomach right now. Okay, so the barbell's in front of me. Could be a cowbell, could be suitcase style. But in this situation, usually it's a barbell pronated grip. So I'm gonna take my shoulders, I'm gonna shrug down, I'm gonna pull back a little bit, okay? Now I'm locked in. As I'm bending forward, okay, I'm gonna use hamstrings and glutes and a little bit of lower back to get the bar to the starting position. Again, I see this all the time. People yank it up, upper back, mid back, yank it up, upper back, mid back. Not great for the posterior chain at all, okay? So I'm in position, I pull back, I'm locked and loaded. Now, I'm gonna take a big breath of air. I'm tight, I'm compressing, 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 kicking that butt out, big toes up, and then 1, 2, 3. That is the process, okay? It's very routine style breathing. Is it exaggerated? Maybe a little bit. Do I suggest over exaggerating the breathing when you're first learning? Absolutely. If you think that your breathing is going to catch the attention of somebody next to you, who cares about that stuff? You're concentrated on getting better for yourself, okay? You don't care about what somebody else is doing. Just focus on you, okay? And I can tell you from experience that you're going to get a lot more gains that way as well, okay? Put your headphones in, put your hat low, do what needs to be done in the gym. Treat it like work, fun work, right? It's not like being in an office and cranking spreadsheets or anything like that, but it's some good fun work. So I hope it's a very example stages of the breathing process that I want you to apply to every single movement that you're doing in the gym. Get really good about creating a stable core pressure when you do different movements, because your body is going to thank you forever. Because when you are in the house and you go to pick up this chair, you're not warmed up or anything. First thing people do, they're like, oh, I'm loosey-goosey. Let me pick this up. Oh, hurt their back, okay? So I'm not saying be a robot and get ready to deadlift, but prepare yourself to be able to lift things starting with the core. Protect the lower back, get strong to the posterior chain, and we're off. And then we move accordingly around the house. But I'm always super cognizant of the pressure that I'm creating in the abdominal wall. If this video was helpful to you, like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. The Dragon has some online coaching that if you would like to join, whether it's weight loss related, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's healing lower back injuries. Obviously, I've been through this. I've been through all of those things at a high level. I'm your guy. Reach out to information. There's actually a bio you could see at The Kreitzer, right? There's a survey that you could do, which then puts you in contact with me for a free consultation. Thank you for watching the video. Dragon aus.